Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Edna and Harvey, the Breakout. And when last we left off, I've got good news, bad news, and good news. The good news is we finally found Edna's room. The bad news is the door is locked, and the only copy of the house key that we know of is broken. But the other good news is we already have the makings of a new house key in our inventory, in this clay imprint that needs to be fired, and this master key that can be melted. And where are we going to do all this? Why, at the furnace in the basement. So it's down we go, beneath the ground, to go and solve this puzzle. This could very well be the final major puzzle in the game, as the game has seriously built up getting to Edna's room. For all I know, the game could end as soon as we get there. So, let's do what we can before that point. But first things first, we need to get a key so that we can do that. And to do that, we need to get the furnace going. And we have the perfect item to make that happen. The lighter. Let's just hope we don't lose it.
Let's see what this old furnace can do.
What it can do is it can roar to life, providing lots of heat. How much heat?
Ouch!
Yep, that's definitely enough heat. So let's do what we need to do for step 1. We were told by Edna already that this imprint is large enough that we don't need to put it in anything to put it in the furnace. So let's do that.
What worked one time
will hopefully work another. And it seems like it has, so let's pick it up.
Ouch!
We're not going to be able to do that without using the pot holders once more, so let us grab it. And it is now in our inventory, and it looks very awesome indeed. Let us examine it in more detail.
The mold is finished. But where do I get the molten gold from this time?
Tricky.
I wonder, could it be the only source of gold that we have? Most likely. But first, let's talk to the mold.
Do you have déjà vu sometimes?
Didn't you ask me that before?
I believe Edna did. Now, let us get Harvey to look at this closely and see if he can see anything that Edna has missed.
Look, Harvey, I'm really getting better at this.
Cool. You could start a career as a burglar.
Yeah, either that or open a locksmith's workshop.
Or you could be a burglar.
We've heard that one before, but I wanted to see if there was anything different. And I'm going to check with the polo mallet.
No, I'm not smashing it yet. The key isn't ready yet.
And then I'm going to check with the pot.
It has already been baked.
I don't think we're going to get any different interactions, but we don't have too many inventory items, so I might as well be thorough.
It's already cold.
We definitely had that one before. Can we sign it?
I will certainly not put the barkeeper's signature on there. This masterpiece of illegal key duplication is mine and mine alone.
Yours and Harvey's, that is. You did work together to make this so. What about Dr. Marcel's signature?
I certainly will not put Dr. Marcel's signature on there. This masterpiece of illegal key duplication is mine and mine alone.
Fair enough. What about the pinking shears?
I guess I could crumble the mold with them, but I'd rather wait with that.
It's inevitable that we're going to crumble it, and this time we have many items that we could do that with. And since we've just made this, it's time to see if there's a signature hidden on the clay.
This is not a hieroglyph. It's the impression of a key.
Are you sure? Similar mix-ups have destroyed mighty empires. The pyramids collapsed, and all of Egypt went down with them.
The pyramids are still there today, and Cairo is a metropolis with millions of inhabitants.
Huh. That's what Eric von Daniken wants you to believe.
Oh, Harvey, didn't you learn that fact the last time he told it to you? Ah, well. Master key with mold. Surely this will work as it is.
Maybe I can reuse the gold. If only it wasn't that hard.
I love your subtle hints. They are suggestive without revealing too much.
They're great, aren't they?
You know, stating how subtle the hint is kind of ruins its subtlety. But I'll let that slide and move on to using the antioxidant on the mold. After all, we didn't have antioxidant when we last had a mold.
The impression is completely without rust.
The same can't be said about the ideas of certain computer game developers.
And once again, shots fired by Harvey.
I'm sure I could get the key out of the mold with the shovel easily. The problem is, there isn't even a key in there yet.
Yet. What about the pliers?
I'm sure I could get the key out of the mold with the pliers easily. The problem is, there isn't even a key in there yet.
Note that while the game calls these pliers, the subtitles refer to them as pincers. Curious. Now let us use the broken house key with the mold that it should fit into perfectly.
Hey! The broken key fits in here exactly.
No mystery here. You used it to make the impression.
Oh yeah.
That you did. Had you already forgotten? Finally, lighter with mold.
The clay has already been baked.
That it has. Now let us work towards getting some gold by using the master key with the pot.
Okay, maybe this will help.
Replace maybe with definitely. Now we have a new inventory item, golden key in pot. Time to take a close look at it and marvel at the key that was actually not very useful beyond its initial purpose. Until now.
On the one hand, I don't really want to melt my masterpiece again. On the other hand, I'm really proud of this idea.
It is a very good idea. What do you think of your predicament, Master Key?
Goodbye, Master.
Hasta la vista, baby.
I see what you did there, game. Very clever. Harvey, what do you think of this?
Look, Harvey. I've put the master key back into the pot.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I'm not so sure about it now.
I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing, even if you don't have faith in yourself.
I want to melt the key, not make any experimental music.
Can we make experimental music afterwards?
We'll see about that.
I hope you do. I can see it now. Edna performing live in a concert run around the entire world and the moon, where she of course is the supreme ruler. Edna, Moon Queen, musician, master of everything. Let's use the pen.
Pen key stew is due on Wednesday.
Awesome! I can't wait. What about the potholders?
I'd need a furnace first.
It's a good thing we have one of those right behind you.
No, I need the gold in its pure form. No other ingredients necessary.
Are you sure? But we could make it into super gold if we add other things. Okay, fine. We'll just have regular boring gold.
Let's scribble the barkeeper's name all over the pot.
Come on, Harvey. We really have more important things to do at the moment.
What could be more important?
What about making this key so that we can get into Edna's bedroom?
Let's scribble Dr. Marcel's name all over the pot.
Come on, Harvey. We really have more important things to do at the moment.
What could be more important than abusing his signature?
And that is a question that will remain unanswered. Time to use the pinking shears.
No chance. The scissors will lose their teeth on that.
That they will. What about finding a signature amongst this combination of items?
A golden key in a pot. This bears the handwriting of a madman.
No, it bears the handwriting of Edna Conrad, who definitely is not mad. Now let's add a toenail.
Now for the secret ingredient.
Now it is perfect. Every key needs a toenail. Every inventory needs a toenail. Now let's use the shovel.
First, the gold is not molten yet. Second, I don't really have to stir the gold. Fourth, this is not a spoon. Fifth, what happened to third?
We will never know. Pliers?
We could melt the pliers while we're at it. Then we could make a key that also pulls nails out of the wall.
Tempting, but no. I need the gold in its pure form. No other ingredients necessary.
We could, however, make a second key that could, as Harvey states, also serve as a nail remover. Or it won't work like that because that's not how keys function. And while we're at it, why don't we throw in the broken house key?
Oh, tragedy. One has to sacrifice himself so the other may live. And they could have been friends after all.
That they could have, but fate said otherwise.
This won't be enough to melt the gold.
That it won't. We'll need a lot more fire.
The mold has already been in the furnace. Now it's the key's turn.
Indeed, and it is time to make that so.
I'm terribly sorry about this, but I have to melt down the master key again.
Goodbye, Master Key. You served us well. Precisely 2 or 3 times, but now it is time to give you a new, better purpose.
Ouch!
After we get the pot out using the pot holders that have been exceptionally useful. A lot more useful than the Master Key ever was.
Children, the gold is ready.
Ah, are we going to get a repeat of the, steaming pot of gold dialogue? I think we are, and we have some new things to use that on. But first, let's look at it.
Children, dinner's ready.
Not yet, Dad. It's way too early.
The early bird catches. We interrupt this joke. The game has please.
We've already heard that one, so let us use the gold with various things in our inventory, first checking to see if we get anything different with Harvey.
Look, Harvey. Gold soup.
Yum! Best enjoyed with a silver spoon.
And on a bronze plate. So we're going to presume that anything that was in our inventory when we were in the asylum is going to yield the same dialogue. So let's instead use other things, like the counterfeit signature.
Oh, no signature to forge here.
Darn it. What about the antioxidant? You have no idea what to do with that. Fair enough. What about the spade?
Gold plate the shovel? Maybe later.
What about now? We have the gold now. We're not going to have it later, Edna, unless you're going to melt down the key again. Pliers? You have no idea what to do there either. Broken house key?
I can't fix it this way.
But you could make it shiny and gold.
The gold is hot enough.
That it is. Another toenail?
Now for the secret ingredient.
Now there are 2. The key is now ultra awesome. I hope our inventory reflects this by calling it the ultra key. I highly doubt it, but I can dream. Finally, let's use this where we're meant to. Pot with mold.
Good idea. I'll pour the gold into the mold.
And that rhymed! You're a poet, and you did not realize you had the ability to make rhyming lines. Now let us look at what we have here. A steaming mold.
Whoa, deja vu.
Indeed, and characters that don't display properly.
Do you have deja vu sometimes?
Didn't you ask me that before?
That you did. Now it's time to use Harvey with the mold.
How did that work again, Harvey? How did I cool off the gold?
You slowed down the molecules one by one.
Didn't I just hold it under cold water?
Why are you asking me if you already know?
She just wanted her memory double-checked. You know, it's not exactly the most reliable thing. Polo man it?
No, I'm not smashing it yet. The gold is still too hot.
That it is. What about the pen?
No, this isn't how it worked.
Indeed it's not, but I'm still going to try.
Still hot. How did that go again?
We had to cool it down in some water. We know of only 2 sources of water in this area.
The key hasn't even solidified yet. I won't have to get rust off it for a long time to come.
A very, very, very long time, considering that it's made of gold.
I will certainly not put the barkeeper's signature on there. This master...
We've had that before,
I certainly will not put this master...
and we've had that one before. What about the pinking shears?
I should wait until the gold solidifies.
And then you can destroy the key. Counterfeit signature? There's got to be one here.
Hard to copy. The Edna Conrad gold key.
Hard, but not impossible. Or is it?
The shovel won't help here. The gold hasn't hardened yet.
We could constantly wave the shovel about like a really ineffective fan? That could work.
The pliers won't help here. The gold hasn't hardened yet.
We could ineffectually wave the pliers about like a even worse fan? Can we use this here?
The molten gold is about the shape of the front door key. All it has to do now is cool off.
And I know where I'm going to do that, but first, let's provide even more heat.
This is hot enough. I should start cooling it down, not heat it up some more.
But what if we make it something beyond molten? We could then make it into a gaseous key, and it could just float around and unlock things like gas always does. Wait, what do you mean gaseous keys aren't a thing that exist? Oh, I must have dreamed that then. But it was such a good idea. Can we further augment this with the toenail?
What am I doing here? Keep focused, Edna. You know how to do this.
You've been doing what you've been doing all game, using everything on everything. Finally, let's put everything back in the pot. We clearly made a mistake, time to go back to square one.
Pour it back? In the moment of triumph?
I know, but we do need to do that. Actually, we don't need to do that. What we need to do is go back upstairs. Now, we could use the rain barrel, but I think there's a little bit of water in the bathtub, and I bet we could use that to cool down the key. Yeah, there does appear to be a bit there. It does look kind of horrible, but it should do the trick. Success! We now have a cooled off mold. Now, let's get out of here. And all the way back to the very first screen, because this may be our last opportunity to use any items anywhere. So let's get our final new inventory item and see what we can discover with it. And also use the lighter outside and on the ground floor, because we haven't done that yet. And who knows what interactions might be hidden away. But first, let's look at our cooled off mold.
The key is finished. And I know where to go from here.
We'll combine the mold with the most unlikely items.
We'll hurry up getting the key out of the mold as fast as we can so that we can see some action.
Boring.
I'm with Harvey here on this one. We need to see all the interactions while we still can.
What will you give me if I get you out of there?
If you set me free, I'll open the final doors to your memory.
Do I get a prize too?
All I've got is $3.50.
Well, fair enough.
That's a pretty decent prize. Harvey?
Help me, Harvey. I forgot how I got the key out of there.
What do you want me to do? Tempo morph you back to the first chapter?
Oh, please. It was all so much funnier.
That it was. Now it's time to use the other items and be very careful about doing so, because using the wrong one may smash the mold. So let's save here and see if we can avoid using those items. I have a feeling I know which ones they are, though. There we go. Let us use the pen, because the polo mallet will definitely succeed in destroying it.
No, this isn't how it worked.
We will then use the pot holders.
It's already cold.
That it is. What about the antioxidant?
The key has just solidified. I won't have to get rust off it for a long time to come.
Indeed. What about the barkeeper's signature?
I will certainly not put the barkeeper's signature on there. This mess...
Fair enough. That is unchanged. Dr. Marcel's signature?
I certainly would... This mess...
That is also unchanged. Is there a signature we can counterfeit here?
Hard to copy.
That is unchanged. The shovel is certainly going to destroy it. The pliers are certainly going to destroy it. The broken house key won't, though.
The cooled off gold is a perfect replica of the key. I should be a goldsmith. Or a locksmith.
I'm surprised that Harvey didn't interject there with or a burglar. Lighter?
But it just took me forever to cool it down.
It didn't take forever, it took a couple of minutes. Toenail?
I'm sure I won't be able to get the key out of there with the toenail alone.
You say that, but I bet you could. And finally, the pot.
I need something more appropriate to pry the key out of there.
Alright then, what about the pliers? No, let's use the shovel. It seems appropriate for here.
Yes, this should work. Yippee! My own front door key! My father didn't want me to have one.
That was to prevent you from escaping your room. After all, the same key fits the lock of your bedroom, too.
And now we have one. And we still have the broken one. And so folks, when we come back, we're going to have one final look about this area, and then we are going to go to Edna's room, and potentially see the end of the game, or the very near end of the game. Perhaps the game has one more surprise left in store for us. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And so, I'll catch you next time folks, and I'll see you then. Later.